Hello, everyone. This is Kirk Nelson with Brilliant Twisted Skulls. Bringing another SketchUp video. Today I'll be showing you how to model a Mobius sheet weave, also known as a Morish rose weave. So we'll start out with a Mobius, standard Mobius, and I'll show you how to go from this to this. I have modeled the Mobius in another video, so go ahead and check that out. And so you can get to this point, and then you can then get from here to here. And once you understand how to model this, you should be able to model a sheet weave in larger scale. Anyway, so let's get started. First of all, it's very important that when you model this from the previous video for a Mobius, 6-ring Mobius, that you maintain that center and origin point. So it's really, really important that you maintain that because you're going to utilize that for building this out. So first thing we need to do is come over here and we're going to hit our rectangle tool. I'm going to hit a polygon. It's going to be a multi-sided polygon tool. What I need is 6 sides. It's already set up with 6 sides, so I can just come in here, hit the origin point, making sure that I'm on the blue plane, which is basically the blue axis, which is actually the red-green plane if you want to be technical about it. But it, as you can see, highlights the polygon as blue. If I hit red, it's red or green, and so that would changes the different axis with which you're building the polygon on. So we want blue, so we'll start here. We're going to click at the origin or the center of this, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to come out here a ways. Just really what I'm trying to do is get a reference, some reference lines. As you can see, the way this kind of lays out, you can see that there's these directions that each one of these rings are kind of laying in a 6-pointed direction. So what this is going to do is I make sure that I get these two, which look pretty in line with this red axis. So I know that these other 4 are going to sit on these 60-degree angles. So now that I have that, I can come over here, get my tape measure tool, click on my tape measure tool. Pardon me. If I click on this end point here on this polygon, and then the other side of this polygon, I will get a reference line that bisects that. So we do the same thing over here. We're going to click on that point, click on this point, and now I've got these reference lines that bisect this 6-sided polygon and creates basically 6 triangular polygons, all emanating from this center origin point. That now gives me a reference line to work from. First thing I need to do is expand or explode this Mobius so that it's a little more open. So I'm going to come over here to my move tool. Actually, I need to click on the select tool. I want to select just one of these, and you can see this one's the closest one to this line, pointing in this direction. So what I want to do, select that, then come over here and get the move tool. So arrow, select it, move tool, just come over to this point and then move along this line in the direction away from the center or the origin point. I already know what the distance I want to move this out is, 2 inches. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to hit this select tool again. I'm going to come over here, click on this ring. I want to come over and click on the move tool again. Come back to this point, go start moving, hit 2, enter, and now that's moved 2 inches. We're going to keep doing that. So let me see, I'm going to bring that up a little bit more so you can see it a little closer. So once again, I'm going to hit the select tool. I'm going to select the green ring now. I'm going to come over here, select the move tool, start at this point, move along that red axis line now, 2 inches, and 2 inches, land that there. I think I moved that twice. So I want to go back. Yep, I did. So just want to do that once. So I just want 2 inches. Again, over to the select arrow, click on the blue ring, move tool, and there are quick commands. I'm not using those so you guys can see exactly where I'm going to, so you can follow along really easily. If you're not familiar with the quick commands, again, the select tool, the move tool, start at this endpoint, move along that line 2 inches, and you're going to do that to all of these. Back to the select tool again, select on the red ring, move tool, over to this point, move 2 inches, and there you go. So now you can see you have an expanded Mobius. Mobius has just kind of been pulled apart, opened up. I no longer need the polygon, 6-sided polygon, so I'm going to remove that. That's not pertinent anymore. And now, as you'll see, each one of these, and I don't know, I didn't explain this, but from the previous video, I grouped all of these so that each one of these became a component. So that way you can just click on them and they're easy to manipulate without affecting the other rings. So that being said, it really makes it easy to make some changes here. You don't have to go through and select stuff all the time. So I'm just going to come up here again to my move tool, and I want to get on the side of this that's basically facing the out, you know, kind of facing. You can see this is squared up, this ring is squared up, here's the center, here's the line. I want to be on this most outer flat surface of this component. And then what I want to do, these are already at 15 degrees. What I want to do is I want to go up to 45 degrees. So I'm going to start spinning that, and that spins that along the axis of this, the center of this ring. And I'm just going to go ahead and type 45. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm just going to spin around. If I hit escape, that'll deselect the previous one. I don't have to hit select again. It just have to hover over this ring and it will highlight this component, and then pull up these reference points and the pluses, which are what I want to click on to start spinning that up, and then again type 45. Same deal with a blue ring now. Same thing. We want to click on this plus sign, hover over the blue till it highlights, or over the blue ring until it highlights, and spin that up to 45 degrees. Now to the green one. Again, back over here to this plus sign, red plus sign, moving back up 45 degrees. Now the yellow, so you can see that. Again, we're the flat face of this component facing out, and I'm for some reason getting that orange ring, but I want to make sure I'm on this yellow ring. With this face, it's the most furthest out from the center, and then type 45, and the last but not least, this orange ring, and we're gonna spin that up to 45 degrees. Okay. So now we have this Mobius, and what I want to do is I'm going to get back to my green so that my dotted green line, dotted red line, solid red line, solid green line. This is the common or the orientation when you enter into SketchUp, and this gives you, this is really kind of the right, the left, forward, and back, and then this blue line is up. So just like you would see in a normal graph, you would have this would be your upright, and so on. So now what we have is this really open Mobius, and now we can begin turning this into a Morish rose weave. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these guys now. I'm going to go ahead and make this a group. So again, select all. So you want to go ahead and get everything in the box. Select tool, everything in the box. Right click on your mouse. Scroll down to make a group. And now that is a group of components. Now what I want to do is I need another reference line, and this took a little bit of work to figure out. In fact, all of this took quite a bit of work to get the correct angles and sizes, distances, all of that. And let me see. What I want is to grab my tape measure tool. I'm going to double click on the green axis. And then what I want to do is I want to come down here, click on my rotate tool. I want to go up here and click on my select tool. I'm going to select that reference line that I just created. Then I'm going to come up here to my rotate tool. I want to come over and make sure that I'm on the blue. So if you push up arrow, it'll make sure it's on the blue plane or the blue axis. You want to then click that. Just come down here anywhere as long as you're on that blue axis or that reference line that you're using. And then I'm going to start spinning that around, and what I know is that this is going to be 36 degrees. And I know that because it took a lot of time figuring it out. But now that we've got that, I can now select this group. So arrow, select the whole group. Come down here again, collect my move tool. So click on the move, the arrows. Come to the center origin point. Click on it. Click on Control. And then start sliding this down on that arrow, or on that, that reference line. Oops. And what we want to do is we want to get to looks like 11 inches. And then just verify that nothing is touching. It looks pretty good. And even if it's slightly touching, that's okay. There is a little bit of connecting there. I might be able to move that just a little bit more out. Yeah, let's move that just a scotch. So again, on that same, so let's move that out 0.25, and so 11.25. That looks good. Everything else looks good. Oh, is it touching there? Nope. So we've got, it's all clear. No rings are touching. So that is exactly what we want. Okay, so now we have the start of our Mobius, or our Morish rose. And now what we want to do is, this is already highlighted. If it's not, go ahead and click the select tool, come over here and click on it, and then we want to go over here to where our move tool is, and we want to hit the rotate tool. We got 6 of these guys. We want to make sure, again, we're on the blue axis, or the blue plane. We want to click on that origin point, and we can just come out here anywhere, and then we can start moving this up, hit Control. And we know, because there is 6 points, that it's going to be 60 degrees. So 60, 60, 60 is 180. 60 times 6 is 360. So we know that there's going to be 6 of these. So 60 degrees. That gives us our first copy, and then we want to hit Shift 8, which is star, which is the times, star is times, and 5. So that's a total of 5 copies from the first original. So it'll be the first copy we made plus 4 more, and so that will give you the first part of our Morish rose. And you can stop there. You can. Cool thing is you can come back and then color these differently. I'll probably work on an irregular grid pattern so that you can actually use that for doing inlays or something. So I'll work on developing one of those. And okay, so now we want to so if I remember right, I just want to make sure this is correct before I move on. But if I remember right, this is 30 degrees. Okay, so what I need now is a reference line that is 6 degrees out. So I'm going to go ahead to my reference. So I created this this reference line. I'm coming back to this origin point. I want to make sure that it's on the blue axis or the blue plane. Over here to this point, and we want to go 6 degrees. So this is where our next this is where our next oh, I need to click on that. This is where our next Mobius is going to land. So we'll come up here, click on this, and again we're going to move along that. We can hit the origin point here since I'm using this one, make a copy of this, and we're going to slide down here until we're at a spot that looks good, and I think that looks pretty good. Make sure that we're on. I don't see anything touching. I'll come back in just a little bit. I think that's it. Just double check. And that looks really good. Okay, so that is our next one. And I didn't verify what the distance on that was, and I should have done that. So what I can do is just make a quick copy of this one, hit that origin point. Oh, I want to actually I can go backwards too, but let me just select this center guy again, and I'm just going to do this for reference, and then I'm going to delete it. But I just wanted to see how far out that was, because that was 1 foot 7 and 9/16, and probably could have landed that right at 1 foot 7.5. So it's really close. So I can hit escape, and that eliminates that. So now I can come back here to my select tool. I want to select this guy, and I'm going to go back over here to the move tool. I want to get the rotate tool. I want to go back to this origin point again, making sure that I'm on the blue axis or the blue plane, and come over this direction on the red axis, start moving it, hit that control 60 degrees, and then that lands it into the next spot. I'm off somewhere. Okay, let me go back. So this happens. I clearly didn't land on the origin point somehow, so I need to make sure that I go back. Select this one again, this Mobius here. Go back to the rotate tool and make sure again that I am on the origin. I move over, start spinning, hit the control 60 degrees, and now we're on. And then I will go back over here. I want to do that times 5, so shift 8 and then 5, make 5 copies of that, spin that around, and now I've got 5 copies of that one. Okay, So now what I want to do is come back to my center point. I'm going to select this again. I'm going to click on rotate. I'm going to get that move tool again. And I want to get onto that origin point again. And I want to start moving out on this line here. And that should be... I want to hit control. That should be 1 foot 10 inches. And that should be right on the money. And that looks like, we did pretty good. It looks like maybe 1 foot 10 and a half. So let's go ahead and move that out another ½ inch. So let's stay on that original reference line that we used, 1 foot 10 and a half. And now we are good. So that looks pretty perfect. That is just touching those two, the blue and green are just touching, which is fine as long as they're not, it hasn't moved into it. So this is selected still, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move over here. We're going to get that, that origin point on the blue axis and back up here to our red axis. Start spinning. Hit control, 60 degrees. And we want to again shift 8 times 5. And now you have a Morish rose pendant. And you can keep moving that out indefinitely and make a huge sheet of this weave. Or you could stop there. But this is now a Morish rose. You can come back because of the way I did it. You come back, click on this, edit the group, then you can open up your paint. You can pick, you can come in and pick different textures or colors, whatever you want. But I'm going to go ahead and I don't know, maybe I want to make this one all blue. So you can just come and click in here and make these all blue. Close that group, and if you wanted to do that before you made the copies, you could do that, and then make the copies, and then they'll all be blue. So there's a number of ways you can do that, and actually I can show you how to do that really quick. So if you go back to here where you've just created this one and moved it into this position, let's go ahead and edit that, and let's go ahead and just make all of these blue. And then let's close it. And then we can come over here, get the select tool, select on this one. Go over here to the rotate tool, find that origin point, make sure that you're on the blue axis. Come on, let's get that. Might have to spin here a little bit. There we go. Blue origin point. Come out here, click on the red axis. Start spinning that, hit control, 60 degrees, enter, times 5, and now you've just created 5 all blue ones. So it's just a way to make it a little easier. So if you know what colors you want, if you have it already figured out, then you can make the initial Mobius the color you want, and then just make the copies and then spin them. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, stay brilliant and keep weaving.